What is going on, everybody? King Recon here. I stand before you all today as someone who could not wait to come on here, sit in this chair, and finally get the opportunity to just ramble about how awesome this entire experience was, man. But before I get into that, I just have to hype up the live-action adaptation for how well it's done in the grand scheme of things. As we sit, as of the recording of this video, 86 countries in the #1 spot. 18.5 million views. 140 million hours watched. If that is not a successful live-action adaptation, I don't know what is. Numbers aside, numbers don't mean a thing. Word of mouth, first impressions, reviews, videos. Doesn't matter how you've come across or I've come across these reviews and impressions. Individuals who have never gotten into our series. As of the recording of this video, I have seen so many people that have used this as their first exposure to the story and are completely hooked. And either A, they can't wait for season 2, or B, they're already getting started with the anime and manga material. The live action did its job. The live action did what it was supposed to do. And every single time that I finish watching one of the reviews, specifically from people who do not watch anime, and they say, I can't wait for season 2, or I'm looking forward to checking out the anime adaptation, it's done its job. Why is that? You think about a series that you are into, that you know has the source material out there, but you want to stay with the version that you've been experiencing because that is how you got into it and how you enjoy it the most, right? A great example of this would be something like the A Song of Ice and Fire series with Game of Thrones. A lot of individuals out there have not experienced the books, but they most certainly have experienced the television series. And so, to me, the most incredible thing about this is that the live-action adaptation managed to capture the core of what makes the East Blue so special. The live-action adaptation managed to capture the characters that makes the East Blue so special. And above all of that, the live-action adaptation managed to capture the vibes and the character dynamics that make the East Blue so special, man. That make early One Piece so special. With an incredible soundtrack, hard-hitting moments, hilarious moments, great moments of mystery and intrigue to the point to where even the most hardcore of fans can't wait to see what's going to happen next due to the changes that are taking place. Now, what I love most about this live-action adaptation, and the reason why I can't stop thinking about it, is the idea that this material that we are experiencing within the live-action adaptation has changed so drastically from the manga and the anime that it's sort of like how I feel about the anime within the current arc that we're in right now, into which we have the manga that obviously gets turned into the anime, but that in and of itself recently has become its own type of experience, to where now I look at the manga and the anime as two completely different versions of the story. The live action provides that times 10. because that is what's made the anime adaptation so much fun to watch, is to see what they add onto certain characters, onto certain scenes, onto certain moments. You know, taking the manga as a sort of, you know, this is the structure of this. Now, how do we enhance upon this? Now, how do we add on to this? And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it's really cool being able to go into that and see what the vision is for that particular director and the animators working on that episode, their version of One Piece. It's what's made the current arc so much fun to watch in the anime. With the live action adaptation, it's been that times like 100. Considering that they had the opportunity here to retell a saga that we know so well, a saga that's received so many different versions. We've seen it in video games, in movies retelling certain arcs, like the episode of East Blue that retold the entirety of the East Blue with certain sections cut out, right? Like, we know the East Blue saga. I know the East Blue. As a longtime fan, I know this saga like the back of my hand, right? To go into the live action adaptation, not just on the first watch, but on the second watch, and be surprised by certain character dynamics that just work extremely well, by certain pieces of dialogue that just work extremely well, by changes that should not work, but because they are consistent with the live action adaptation, they do work. And don't get it twisted. There's certain things that I cannot detach my love for certain characters, that when I see certain things on screen, I don't agree with certain decisions that are being made. And that, of course, has to do with the fact that Luffy actually listened to Nami's backstory before making his move in the live action. And that's a change that I definitely did not like. I thought it was unnecessary. But even with that, even with me not liking that change, the help me scene still made me cry. The finale of Arlong Park still hit extremely hard. So then, if these things are still hitting, is it because I'm a longtime fan and I can't believe that I'm actually seeing a live action adaptation doing these scenes justice? So I tear up at all of the iconic moments? I get hyped at all of the iconic moments? Or are they genuinely cooking something here that is unique to their own style and vision? Because that, to me, was the most impressive part about this, is that there were so many things that I was very hesitant on. Garp being one of them. That changed Luffy's character being another. Nojiko actually not knowing about Nami doing all of this. Genzo not being a major part of Arlong Park. Don Krieg not being very prevalent in the Baratie arc, which leads to so many great moments for both Sanji and Luffy. There's a lot of things that I can't believe that they left out of the live action adaptation, but they did such a great job of telling their own story. The one that if I did not have any knowledge, if I did not have such a strong attachment to the manga and the anime, it would have seemed like this was the story right from the get-go. And that to me is so cool about the live action adaptation, is that many individuals can come out of this believing that this is the full picture of what needed to be told here, that they believe they got their own version of the prologue material of the East Blue, the first 95 chapters of the story, with a little bit of chapter 100. And it's like, to me, that's so incredible. It's so incredible in a different way than, I'll give you a quick example, right? When Dressrosa was being released in its anime adaptation, it's obviously, at least to me, one of the worst adaptations of an arc within the series. And it has a lot to do with the way that Toei was handling stuff at the time, right? Where it's just dragged out way too much. The key moments hit extremely hard, and the vibe was kept. So to this day, it surprises me whenever so many people catch up to One Piece through the anime, and they say Dressrosa is one of their favorite arcs, considering that the anime adaptation, to me, it does not hold up to the standard that a lot of the other arcs have for their anime adaptations of, especially a major arc like that, right? But the core is so strong for that arc that even with an adaptation that to me did not live up to what I would expect from a major arc being adapted like that within this story, the core was so strong, the moments hit so hard, the characters and the character work there hit so hard that nothing else mattered. In a similar yet different way, that's exactly how it is with this anime or with this live action adaptation, where they made their own version of this East Blue Saga work so well that even with all of those things that I am frustrated they either cut out or added in too early, they made me a believer. They had me invested. A longtime fan, an individual, like I said, that all I want is for people to get into this wonderful story. If there's anything the live action adaptation showed me, is that I just want people to experience it however it is that they possibly can, man. And I've always been the type of person to where I don't care if you get into it through anything. Doesn't matter if it's subbed, dubbed, manga, black and white, colored, I don't care. As long as you're experiencing the greatness in your preferred way, I don't care. I don't care if you watch it in order, out of order, that's none of my business. That is up to you, dog. However you choose to experience the One Piece greatness, if it gets you into it, by all means, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. I don't care. Whatever gets you in the door, that's what's going to get you in the door. And so, because I've always gone into it with that type of mindset, now it's like triple that, seeing the reactions to the live action adaptation by people who have never experienced the story before. The fact that this is getting people intrigued, the fact that so many people are talking about this as if it was 1997 all over again, as if it was 1999 all over again. Yo, this guy with the 3 swords is super cool. Nami's backstory hit extremely hard. Sanji and Zeth's relationship hits. Monkey D. Luffy is that guy. Dude, they're saying the same things that we said, just a little different. If that is not telling you this live adaptation worked, bro, let me tell y'all something, man. It's insane to me, bro. There are people who have been wanting to get into this series for a very long time that are now into it because of live action adaptation. And they are fans. They're genuine fans with favorite moments, favorite characters, favorite episodes. And that to me is so incredible. It is so incredible. I can go up to someone who I've always wanted to get into the series. We can have a conversation about how cool Zoro is, about how incredible Mihawk versus Zoro was, about how incredible the walk to Arlong Park was, about how incredible Luffy bringing down the axe and destroying Arlong, along with the map room that chained Nami together to Arlong Park, freeing her with that incredible final piece, which might have been my favorite scene in the entirety of live action, was that incredible attack, destroying Arlong Park, freeing Nami from her chains. You get the reactions from the rest of the crew as they are worried about the fact that Luffy might have died here. They are worried. And so when Luffy comes out of the rubble, you as the audience are like, he won! He made it! And he's freed Nami in the process. It's those little moments, man, that are like, dude, you can go up to somebody who's experienced live action adaptation, you come out with the same type of enthusiasm. I can go up to him and be like, yo, that conversation between Luffy and Zoro within episode 6 really hit, because that was brand new material to live action, and by flag norms was incredible. When Nami, within that entire section, did not immediately leave off to Arlong Park, she stayed to witness what happened with Zoro and Mihawk. And then that incredible, oh man, I mean, it was just incredible, bro. So many changes. So many things. Even going on to the pilot episode, which is a phenomenal pilot episode, mind you. Even the changes that were there right off the bat, I was like, no, I'm digging this so much, man. They are sticking true to their vision. And their vision was executed at such a high level because they stayed true to it. And they put it right in your face. This is the One Piece that we are going to be getting from episode 1 to episode 8, and they stuck true to that vision, and I respect them so much for that. I mean, seriously, bro, you want to talk about arcs that the fandom does not want touched? Baratier and Arlong Park, 2 arcs that got so many people, myself included, into this wonderful story to begin with. And for them to take the creative liberties to do what they did to both of those arcs, to me showcases that they really were in tune with their vision. And it's just, I enjoyed the journey so much. I can't stop thinking about the live action adaptation. From the music, to little small, really fun moments, to sad moments, to so many things. The hype moments. I mean, it's a combination of a brand new adventure with characters that I love so much, with a new iteration on characters that I love so much, while also seeing moments that I know so well being executed at the highest level in a live action adaptation. Bringing the same emotions out of me, man. And like I said, I don't know if it's because I'm getting old. I don't know if it's because it's nostalgia. I don't know what it is. Or maybe it's just that they cook so hard that it even gets a longtime fan like me emotionally invested like that. But when you get the Luffy putting the straw hat on Shanks putting the straw hat on Luffy moment hitting me as hard as it did. When you get the don't catch a cold, or what was the line in the live action? It was about don't get your feet wet. You know, with Zeph and Sanji, that junk had me bawling. The help me scene of legend. To the Grand Line scene. I mean, bro, I just loved it, man. I just loved it, bro. And obviously there's so many things that they can improve on with the season 2. And there's so many things that I'm still very iffy on in regards to the live action adaptation. But they don't compare to the joy that I feel every single time I turn on one of these episodes through a reaction or on my own personal rewatch. And the smile that just comes across my face, it makes any and anything that I could possibly have to say against it automatically nullifies it. And it just, with the success that it's having, I'm so happy because number one, obviously, it's getting so many people into the series. And that's the most important thing to me, is getting more people into this wonderful journey, into this wonderful community. The fact that Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, and Sanji are becoming household names right now. It hits me on an emotional a level that I never would have expected before this. Because I'm stuck in my anime and manga bubble, it already feels like everyone is into One Piece, especially lately. But when you get to live action adaptation, you really get to see that there's still a lot of people out there who have not experienced not just One Piece, but anime in general. And this was their first taste into what the medium of anime and manga has to offer, into what One Piece has to offer, and stories like this has to offer. And to me, that is the coolest thing ever, man, that a live action adaptation was able to capture the core of this story so much that it could potentially make them interested in checking out the anime adaptation, something that is a medium they've never touched before. That to me is the coolest thing, man. That to me is the coolest thing. And so I just really love this live action adaptation, man. Ever since I finished it, ever since I started it, I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. From the moment that episode 1 hit with that fantastic pilot episode to the end was such an incredible experience. But then after finishing it, going back and rewatching, seeing other people's impressions, seeing all the insane amount of individuals who are getting into the series thanks to this, just that entire experience is something that I'll never forget. On top of this, everything else that happened this incredible week. But the fact that the one live action that should not have worked, the one live action we're all counting out, The one live action that whenever it was announced, we were all very iffy on, like, I don't know, man. I don't know if they can potentially pull this one off. But as time went on, and they won at the very least me over, I was won over the moment that I saw the casting and saw the characters, the actors, their chemistry with each other. That's when I was won over. That's when I really wanted this to succeed. But when I watched those first few episodes, I was like, nah, man, we have something special here. They got it. They captured it. They captured it in their own unique vision, but they captured it. And when I finished it, I was like, no, we need a season 2. We need a season 2, man. And I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop thinking about it. As a massive fan of this series, the best/worst thing that could have happened is for me to find another reason to go back and re-experience these arcs again. And for me to now go and rewatch a Baratier or a Kuro or a Arlong Park in the live action adaptation, and it makes me want to go watch the anime version again just to see the key differences and stuff of that nature, but also just to have all 3 of these, the manga, the anime, and live action, be their own thing that I can go into and just appreciate as its own singular thing that's a part of this massive body that I absolutely love in the One Piece journey. And I just welcome to the family. Welcome to the family of the One Piece live action. I welcome you with open arms to this incredible journey, to all the individuals that have gotten into it thanks to this, and just a massive thank you to the people behind the One Piece live action, man. They truly, with every single episode, you can tell just how much love was poured into this, bro. You can just see it everywhere. The amount of love and care that was poured into each and every single individual thing that was here, man. And it was so cool. It was so cool to see. Later on in the week, or if I get an opportunity this week, I wanted to go into specifics with the live action, in particular when it comes to characters, arcs, and the episodes. They might even all go apart, like, all together. But I definitely want to dive in more in regards to the live action adaptation. There's a lot of stuff to discuss here, and we're only getting started. And so I really wanted to talk about this because it's been on my mind, and I told myself the moment I get an opportunity to come on here and record, I just need to talk about how much I love this live action adaptation, man. And how much I really, really hope we get a season 2 to see even more of my beloved characters. Because if season 2 is anything like season 1, oh man, dude. And I'm already going to have such a strong connection to the live action versions of my beloved characters. Going on that journey with them is going to be absolutely incredible. And like I said before, the shock of going from moment to moment and not knowing what's going to happen next, not knowing what the live action adaptation is going to change and or keep, is such a cool experience, man. And so I really, really hope we get a season 2, and I look forward to when we do get that, if we do end up getting it. But at this point, I'm a believer when we get it. I'm looking forward to seeing who gets casted, as, Chopper and Vivi and Robin and Croc and, so many of these beloved characters that are going to be within that next season. But even with just this one, man, I couldn't be happier. And if I could just touch on one more thing, the Straw Hat dynamics, before we started any of this, before we started seeing any trailers, before any of this happened, the first thing I think I said back when this was announced, the live action adaptation, was, as long as they capture the characters, their dynamics with one another, their interactions with one another, then they got it. Everything else will come with time. Everything else will come with time. I didn't expect them to capture that element to the point that they did, while also maintaining the other side of that, which is the vibes that really keeps everything working during that Ace Blue saga. And the fact that they had their own versions of the themes that were present in each individual East Blue arc, which each individual East Blue arc has a major theme of what a treasure is to blank. What is this person's treasure? And to see the live action adaptation have their own version of that within each individual episode, with each individual character that is prominent within that episode, to me was really, really cool. Down to the logo representing who exactly is going to be the main star or the main focus in this episode. That stuff like that to me just hit, man. And like I said, there were certain changes that it took a while to win me over on, certain changes that I still am not a fan of, but there's a lot of changes that I really, really liked because they just fit the live action medium way better for it. And some of those changes that I really, really did like involve several interactions within the crew. So many fantastic brand new conversations and interactions with our beloved Straw Hats. And the journey that they go on together, bro. Like I said, it was like experiencing One Piece all over again. And I loved every second of it, and I'm going to continue loving every second of it. As I even have Netflix on right now, I'm ready to watch even more greatness. And I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy that it exists. I'm so happy that it worked, that it executed at such a high level, that it's getting so many people into the story, but that it's also such a major topic of conversation in a positive way. This is like the standard now. Live action adaptation should be like this. People all over the world are talking about Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, and Sanji, about Mihawk, about Baratier, about Kuro, about Orange Town, about Romance Dawn, and of course, about Arlong Park. It's so cool, man. Like, I can't put into words how it feels going from the 4Kids days back in the day to when the Marineford boom happened and so many people got into the series, to the Dressrosa boom after that with, the big Film Z hype and everything that was happening there. But, we've had several different boom periods of so many people getting into the series, but a lot of those individuals were already anime and manga fans. Just recently, we had a really cool boom within the book community where a lot of individuals came over from that side of the YouTube space to get into One Piece. And it was so cool seeing how individuals who are normally experiencing this type of content in another medium experience a series like One Piece, offering a completely different perspective. With the live action, it's so cool because there are individuals watching this who don't even normally watch stuff like fantasy, who don't even normally watch, stuff like what would be considered a story like this. But this one had them so hooked that not only did they start it, they finished it too, and that to me is so awesome. So awesome, man. And so I couldn't be happier with this live action adaptation, man, and we will continue to discuss and talk about it, and just continue to gush over it as the days continue to roll by. And I ask each and every single one of you in the comment section, please let me know how y'all felt about the live action adaptation, especially after the last few days, letting it sink in, or if you haven't finished it yet, let me know how you feel about it so far. But just know that, like I said, as a longtime fan, nothing makes me happier than seeing people get into the series and sharing their journey, and seeing so many people finish the series and having to go out and share their journey, because I know how that feels. I know how it feels when One Piece gets so good that you can't help but express yourself. It's why I created the YouTube channel. I had to create the YouTube channel in order to express myself in regards to this beloved story. And so to know that several people are having that same feeling, to express themselves about something that they've never watched before, regardless of wherever it is that they're sharing their thoughts and opinions on, to me that really, really means something. And I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy that that we're in this position, that the One Piece live action is incredible. Incredible, man. Love my Straw Hats, no matter the medium. No matter the medium. Anime, manga, video games, live action, that is my crew. That is my MC. That is my world's strongest swordsman. That is my cat burglar. That is my liar. And that's my cook. You better believe it. You better believe it. You better believe it. Man, dude. Loved it so much, man. I love this live action. It's real. And it's good.